Brad, it's been a serious situation throughout the morning, and that's not changing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think we're going to see these issues continue here for a little bit longer as far as the rain and wind. Now, there is a little bit of good news. It seems like, all these bad things are happening this morning. We are going to see better weather ahead this afternoon, and we mentioned all morning that if you don't have to leave your house, stay at home. You don't have to stay home all day. If you can just stay off the roads through the first half of today, that would be a huge help. But even after the storm moves out, as we're seeing from a lot of the videos, pictures from our reporters all across the area, there's a lot of trees down. There's a lot of roads blocked. Some are blocked with limbs, big trees. Some are blocked with power lines. Some are blocked with water in many cases. But the center, if there's still a center, you can kind of see here of what is Tropical Storm Helene. It is probably right over Clemson, South Carolina. If you have a barometer at home, you may notice, or you may even feel this morning, the pressure is falling rapidly. The pressure is how much atmosphere is above our heads. It is super low. When you get tropical storms and hurricanes approach, the pressure falls. So one way you can tell if the weather's going to get better, if the pressure starts to increase, you know that the storm is moving on. But some of the low pressure readings we're getting are some of the lowest we'd ever seen in our area. With the storm. But this band right here, you see this band coming through Cleveland County, western York County, western Chester, even now moving into parts of Gaston County. I want to show you the velocity data here because this is showing really strong winds moving in, those brighter shades of blue. Now, they have been showing signs of weakening over time, and I'm going to highlight some of these real quickly just to show you how strong these winds are. Down here in Union County, South Carolina, the winds are around 35 to 40 miles per hour, but they get a little bit lighter as you go north. But this band near Lawrence, this is kind of the east side. If this would have been still a hurricane, that would have been kind of the northeast eye wall, if you will, of the system as it's pushing up towards the north. So those winds are probably still going to be aloft. As this moves into higher terrain, you're probably going to see some super high levels of wind in the higher elevations as we go through time. So pretty good chance we're going to see these wind gusts continue to increase. Right now, the highest gust at the airport has been 52 miles per hour, but some gusts have been even higher than that. Let me quickly show you the tornado watch, which has been extended this afternoon, I should say, until 6 p.m. this evening. That's what I was trying to spit out there. This is a new watch, by the way. Includes Charlotte, but here's the good news with this. We will likely see these counties back to the west eventually kind of eroded or taken out of the watch as it pushes off to the northeast, because the tornado risk is actually going to be highlighted mainly to our east. So the threat of tornadoes today should increase a little bit. One of the bad things about the sun coming out, it could lead to some isolated stronger tornadoes and thunderstorms in the eastern part of our viewing area. So you could see this 2 to 5% risk, but as you get out here towards the coast, that risk actually increases to about 10% this afternoon. Let's show you the futurecast rotation tracks just to kind of highlight where we think that we could see some of that rotation. So these little shades out here, you see this Albemarle, Wadesboro, Sherrall out towards Rockingham. This would be an area that we would watch carefully for potentially some rotating storms, and that's around 9 a.m. So it's 8:30 now. That band's moving north as we get closer to, let's say, this afternoon around 10 a.m., excuse me, those bands will be shifting towards Salisbury and then the central part of the state towards Greensboro, maybe Raleigh. So there's a very small window here where we could see some isolated tornado warnings before all of this moves out. And then by the afternoon, I do think the warnings and watches for tornadoes will be allowed to expire. We will likely see that those warnings canceled at some point this afternoon. The bigger story, though, will be after that will be the flooding, which we've been talking about this all morning. If you're just catching up or waking up right now, we've got numerous flash flood emergencies. These are the highest level of flood alerts. We normally don't see many around here. We saw some during Florence. We currently have a flash flood emergency for Mountain Island Lake and downstream towards Riverside Drive. They're evacuating people right now. A lot of water is coming downstream. If we widen the view out, every county shaded in red in the western part of the state, those are flash flood emergencies, meaning life-threatening, catastrophic flooding is occurring. The areas in yellow are under what we call considerable flood warnings, meaning there is considerable damage occurring in these areas. So this will become a story even after the rain moves out, because that water has to move downstream. And over the next couple of days, we are going to see that water continue to move through the lakes and the creeks and stream system of the Catawba chain through the Charlotte area. So good idea to please listen to local officials. If they're telling you to evacuate, please do so this morning because that water will continue to go down. Larry Sprinkle joins us now this morning. And Larry, we've seen a lot of trees down. I see some down behind you. My drive in this morning, limbs and trees everywhere, power flashes. I think we're going to see a lot more of these images coming out now that the sun is up.
Thanks, Brad. You're right about that. And yeah, I think this is the picture of the day because we're seeing this everywhere. As Brad was just saying, this is over Linwood Road over in Gaston. Thanks to Ben Lott, our weather watcher over there. But that's right there in his backyard. This is going to happen continually all day, and this could happen not only today, but through the weekend and beyond. Loosened soil, that's all it takes to cause major problems out there. So that's the impact. So I did want to show you some of our camera views. We have Monroe over in Union County. You can see wet roads there. You can see a little bit of a break in the precipitation. Rock Hill, Kannapolis, got some rain over the Speedway. Another view takes us to downtown Monroe. A little bit better than the last time we showed this particular view, which was about 45 minutes ago. It was really heavy rain. Right now, some breaks in the rain, but there's more certainly out there, more on the way. As we check Rock Hill in South Carolina, you can see right there looking towards uptown, downtown Rock Hill, if you want to say that. Some clouds there, some gusty winds, and some moderate heavy rain all morning long. As far as our alerts, we still have the tropical storm warning in effect for the year. It's interesting talking about the potential for strong storms. In a hurricane, in a tropical storm, you have the hurricane force winds, the tropical storm force winds. So that can cause major issues. And then you can have spin up tornadoes in either a hurricane or tropical storm. And that is even another major issue and impact that we see from these tropical systems. And we've certainly seen it over the past 24 hours. Once again, we have a tornado watch in effect, and it's really basically Interstate 77 East. And that does include the Charlotte area from Charlotte to Concord to Monroe, and then all the way to the Carolina coastline. A spin-up tornado, definite possibility. Take a look at Futurecast. Heavy rain across the area this morning would take it about 11 o'clock. I would say between now and 11, some of the heaviest rain. Then everything starts moving to the north, eventually moving up into Virginia, and things look much better as we get to the middle of the afternoon. Some of the estimated rainfall totals, and check this out, over the past 24 hours alone, not the past 48, but the past 24 hours just south of Charlotte. 5 inches of rainfall over there. Around Shelby, 5.5 inches. Bellwood, over almost 5 inches of rain there. Almost 6 inches at Lincoln, up to Huntersville, almost 4 inches of rainfall there. East of Interstate 77, that's where they had less amounts of rain, but we're still talking about well over maybe 2.5 inches, all the way from, say, Monroe to Albemarle there in Stanley County. Let's expand the view, show you the picture, the radar picture, and you can see that's the center of circulation right there. Helene is a tropical storm, winds sustained at 60. And these feeder bands, this area right here, we have seen tornado warnings issued all morning long around the Charleston area, and you can see some strong storms there, possibly spawning tornadoes now. Could that spin back in? Heard Brad talk about this, back into the Charlotte area. Certainly the potential is there for some spin-up tornadoes. A lot of that would be from Charlotte all the way to the Carolina coastline. We do continue to have these flash flood warnings in effect. Gaston, Mecklenburg, Anson, Stanley counties added to that because of the intense amount of rainfall. So it's continuous rain, and that is looking right now at the heaviest rain west of Interstate 77. A little bit of a break from Charlotte over to the Monroe and Jackson areas down there in South Carolina. That's some light rainfall there. As you can see across the Charlotte Metro, a break in some of the heaviest rain, but certainly more is on the way as we talk about Futurecast. Once again, 9 a.m. heavy rain from Charlotte to Lincoln to Taylorsville to Statesville. And notice everything is starting to move to the north, but that's still bands of heavy rain and possibly some strong storms from Monroe to Concord to Salisbury. That's about 10 o'clock this morning, as Brad was talking about. That's the time frame, and we could see a couple spin-up tornadoes right here in our area.